You are listening to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This podcast may contain objectionable language.
Welcome to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This is our take on what's happening in the world. How you doing, Stoney?
I'm doing pretty good. It's an exciting day.
You really went there.
Yep, I had to.
All right. For those who follow
It
us
was
on the
required.
Crippled Creek stuff, you'll get that one. All righty. Let's get right into this mess, since we got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Ariel Castro is now the captive. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, I don't know where I'm going with that sentence, but anyway, there were three girls who were held in Cleveland for, two of them for about 10 years and another one for just under 10 years. And this guy, Ariel Castro, was their kidnapper. Now, originally they had arrested his two brothers also. But so far they're finding that, no, it was just him. He was the only one. One dude. So, yeah. Yeah.
10 years.
10 years. Held him captive. Repeatedly would get the girls pregnant and then beat them until they miscarried. And bail was set for $8 million. And the way they worked that out was $2 million per person. Now you're saying, but Grim, he only kidnapped 3. Yes, he did. But there was also a girl who survived and was born to one of these 3 women. And so because of her, that makes 4. Therefore, $8 million. Yep.
They need to just bury him under a rock or something, under his house.
Yeah, he's a piece of work. And then Charles Ramsey.
Yes, Charles Ramsey, the internet hero.
He turned out to be quite all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was offered a reward for, in essence, rescuing the girls. And he pulled a paycheck out of his pocket and said, I make a paycheck. Give the reward to the girls. They need it more than I do.
Yeah, he's become quite the internet phenomenon because of that.
Yeah. And he's been songified. Yep. They songified one of his interviews, or it's actually pieced together a couple of his interviews. And so he's quite the internet personality right now. But good for him for being a stand-up kind of guy.
Yeah, no kidding. Did the right thing.
Yes, he did. All right. See, that one ended on a good note. And those 3 girls being released, Charles Ramsey, that whole thing, that's all good. Dude being arrested. So it's ending on a good note, but those girls got a lot of recovery time ahead of them. But
yeah,
all in all,
if they ever do.
Yeah. But something I saw this morning, and I think pretty much explains it. Today's better than yesterday for them.
Yeah.
And hopefully
that is very true.
And hopefully it continues to get better and better each day for them. So, and here a real quick one on more good news. Viet Nam Vet gets surprise welcome home parade. Now you're thinking, gee, Vietnam, that was back in the 70s. Yeah, it was. And a Minnesota man who flew more than 150 combat missions in Vietnam, was surprised with a belated welcome home parade from his friends and neighbors. A parade was held on Tuesday after William Isaacson, age 70, flew home to... what the hell are you doing?
Standing here.
No, you, exploded on the microphone.
Oh, I stepped on my wire.
Okay. flew home to Afton, Minnesota from Florida, where he winters. Let's see here. When Isaacson saw a crowd gathered in Lakeland, a town about 1,800 people, about 17 miles east of St. Paul, he didn't realize at first that he was the person being honored. The whole community rallied together, and this guy had come home from Florida, because that's where he winters, and the crowd got behind him and said, "Hey, we're here to say thank you for your service and all that good stuff." So, congrats to him for making it home, and that's more good news.
Well, it's about time that people started respecting those Vietnam vets.
Well, he said that this homecoming was a hell of a lot better than his first one, because the first one was in 1966, and it was his brother Bill, and that was it. So, but which, hey, having your brother show up, I guess that's important, but this was kind of, a little bit grander of a scale. Next story, real quick. Bill would end bonuses for VA execs for 5 years. Senior executives of the Department of Veterans Affairs, what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Oh,
Stop complaining.
No. When you hear this, because I'm not editing it out because you're being shitty. So you will hear it and you'll be like, oh my God. What the hell was I doing? Senior executives with the Department of Veterans Affairs will not see another bonus for 5 years under a bill the House Veterans Affairs Committee approved on Wednesday and sent to the House floor for a vote. The bill comes as lawmakers grow increasingly frustrated with the VA over a backlog of veterans' disability claims that numbers up to 900,000. And our buddy Jeff Miller from Florida, committee chairman Jeff Miller, told Military.com on Wednesday the legislation is also the result of the VA's failure to give his committee information about potential fraud involving bonuses. Both House and Senate lawmakers have heard allegations that some VA hospital executives skewed data on veterans' appointments and drew bonuses for meeting the goal. Yep. Bastards. I really hope they start friggin' chopping off heads.
Yeah. Take them down. It's... But, the flip side of that is once they get this passed, who's going to pass the same bill applied to Congress?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Hopefully somebody.
Yeah.
But there you go. You have that.
That's great.
Yeah. And time for our famous veteran. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here, I'm going to give you a quote. This is because I just like doing this shit. It was all very pleasant just lying in the sun and watching the girls go by, but one day I suddenly felt bored with hanging around and went and joined the Marines. Who said that?
Wow. No idea.
Steve McQueen. Yeah. Oh, he had a rough friggin' life growing up. Steve McQueen's legacy as King of Cool began early in his acting career and carries on to this day, actually. I mean, people know who Steve McQueen is.
Yep.
He loved racing, frequently got in trouble, had 3 wives, donated to the California Junior Boys Republic, born to a stunt pilot and an alleged alcoholic prostitute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his childhood was tumultuous. His father left both he and his mother after 6 months. And McQueen lived with his grandparents until he was 8. His stepfather beat him and his mom, which drove McQueen to live on the streets for a time. He was later sent to the California Junior Boys Republic, where he began to mature. And that's why he continued, that's why he was donating to them while he was still alive. After drifting from job to job, he decided to join the Marines in 1947. He was promoted to private first class and served with an armored unit, but was demoted back to private 7 times.
Oh, wow. Failure to adapt.
His rebellious nature came to a head when he let a weekend pass turn into a 2-week tryst with his girlfriend. Shore Patrol apprehended him, but he resisted and spent 41 days in the brig. The first 21 days he spent living on bread and water. His time in... Now, this is a big turning point for him. His time in the brig served to reform as he attempted to improve himself and embody Marine values. Later on, his unit was performing a training exercise in the Arctic, which turned disastrous. The ship McQueen and his unit and tanks and everybody was on hit a sandbank, which threw several tanks and their crew into the water. Many drowned immediately, unable to get out of their tanks. But McQueen jumped in and saved the lives of 5 men. In recognition for his action, McQueen was chosen to partake in the honor guard protecting Harry S. Truman's yacht. McQueen stayed with the Marines until 1950. So now, he was demoted 7 times. Okay, spent 41 days in the brig, did all this other crap in 3 years. Let's see, he stayed until 1950 when he was honorably discharged. And this is a quote from him. "The Marines gave me discipline I could live with. By the time I got out, I could deal with things on a more realistic level. All in all, despite my problems, I liked my time in the Marines." And then after leaving the Marines, he used money earned through the GI Bill to study acting at Sanford Meisner's neighborhood playhouse. Began entering races at the same time. Bought a home for $100. See, bought a home and brought home, English, Mike, brought home about $100 per week in winnings from his racing. McQueen became steadily employed on the show Wanted, Dead or Alive. Later on, his Hollywood break came by way of Frank Sinatra, who hired him for the part of Bill Ringa in Never So Few. And let's see here. McQueen's career was prolific. This is actually kind of a long one, but nowhere near as long as Willie Nelson's. So that's why I went with this one. McQueen's career was prolific. He starred in numerous roles and maintained his star status up until his untimely death in 1980. McQueen suffered from mesothelioma and underwent surgery to remove multiple tumors in his neck and midsection. Doctors had warned him that his heart could not withstand the surgery, and hours after the tumors were removed, McQueen died of cardiac arrest.
Oh.
So, yeah, I remember when he died. That was very tragic. But a big salute to famous veteran Steve McQueen.
Semper Fi, Steve. Wow.
Yep, and all I've got left is weather.
I only have one story, and it's a veteran story, actually.
Good deal.
Newark, New Jersey. Ceremony in New Jersey saw a man reunited with dog tags he lost in France during World War II 69 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a ceremony in Newark to celebrate the 68th anniversary of VE Day, the day that the Nazis surrendered. And the guest of honor was Willie Wilkins, age 90. Wilkins lost his dog tags while serving in France 69 years ago, and they were found 12 years ago by Anne-Marie Crespo while she was tending to her garden in Istres, France. Wilkins' daughter accompanied him to the ceremony, and they presented him with his dog tags and a State of New Jersey Meritorious Service Medal.
Nice.
He said, I haven't known such joy in my heart since my mother died in 2007, said the daughter.
Wait, what?
Now, that could be taken a couple of ways.
She was... Okay, because I immediately took it as she was happy mom died.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay, moving on. When I got the call from the VA that they found Daddy's dog tags, we were so happy. I want to thank the mayor and everyone involved for returning these.
Is that how that?
Yeah.
Is that how that sentence is written?
Yeah, I haven't known such joy in my heart since my mother died.
Does nobody proofread and go, we could word that better? I mean,
Anyway.
you could say something like, since before my mother died. Just add a word.
Yeah. Anyway, the mayor says we're honored by Willie Wilkins, and it's truly appropriate to help to return these artifacts to him and recognize him today on the anniversary of the final defeat of Adolf Hitler, said New York Mayor Cory Booker.
Artifacts.
Well, they're 68 years old and they've been buried in somebody's garden for...
Yeah, but, I don't want anything
Just
that
go.
I've ever owned to be called an artifact until, I'm long gone.
Dude's 90, just go with it. But that's pretty cool.
That is very cool. That is very cool.
And that's all I got.
All right. Well, we are going to go full circle, and we're going to end with weather in Cleveland, Ohio, in honor of those 3 girls who went through all that crap. So, right now in Cleveland, Ohio, it is 71 degrees. Wind is out of the west-northwest at 7 miles an hour, 52% humidity. Today it's supposed to get up to a high of 74, partly cloudy, 20% chance of rain, wind out of the north by northwest at 9 miles an hour with a humidity of 55%. That's not too bad. And then tonight it's going to get down to about 60 with thunder showers, 60% chance of rain, wind out of the southwest at 8 miles an hour with a 56% humidity. So there's your weather for Cleveland, and that pretty much does it for us today.
All right. Short and sweet.
Yep, exactly. Look at that. We're under 18 minutes. That's a beautiful thing.
Maybe somebody will listen.
Maybe. All right, buddy. I will talk to you soon, and everybody else, have a good weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.
Keep your powder dry.